I have a Patreon where there are top supporters. What is the most embarrassing thing that happened to you during your law enforcement career?
Did a search warrant one time on a gang house. The guy that we were going after, he was distributing stolen guns from soldiers to all the little hoodlums. That morning, my bungee on my radio pouch had broken. We're about to wrap up. I'm searching a closet and I bend down to grab something. I guess it had fallen off. Taking the evidence to the station. And man, I hear, "Hey, Mr. Policeman, you left your walkie-talkie at my house." And I'm like, next thing I know, both of my cell phones, my personal and my work number is ringing. I answer it, it's my supervisor, and he's like, hey, man, check, see if you got your radio. I'm like, hey, dude, I got my radio, bro. So I'm driving, I'm feeling it, pull my vest up. I don't see it. My heart drops in my stomach. I'm like, hey, that's my radio. And I whip that car around. I am blue lights and sirens to this house. She's holding that radio by the antenna. Here, piggy, 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 piggy. Here, piggy, 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 piggy. Shawn, I felt this big.
So I got a buddy, it's Sig, his name's Jason. I told him you were coming on and he wanted me to give this to you.
Oh, wow. Wow, this is the Legion.
Yeah, that's the 365 Macro Legion.
Man, I've been wanting one of these. I have the regular one, but the Legion is superior. I don't get a lot of cool gifts, so thank you.
Hey, you're welcome.
Man, that is beautiful. That feels really good, too. I have little baby hands, so this
Dry
this
fire.
is nice.
Let's see what you think.
That's a light trigger. Tell them I said thank you for real.
I will. Well, this is the pistol I recommend to everybody. I'm curious what you guys think of that. That's the P365 Legion from Sig Sauer. Comes with those magazines, 17 plus 1 in the pipe, 18. Now they're making these new magazines. I think it's 21 rounds plus 1 in the pipe, so 22 capacity. It's made out of all metal. It has those ports to help with the recoil.
The 365X Macro has got the compensated slide, but it doesn't have that kind of metal pistol grip that the AXG Legion 365 does. And that thing, I'm really excited about that because that thing is really good feel for a compact pistol.
They knocked it out of the park. This is huge. This is just a flex cuff. Sometimes I'll even have these in my pocket. These are huge because what I've learned in my police career, bad people, if you don't take away their ability to move right away, then their brain is going to convince them that they can escape. And that means of escape is either going to be trying to kill you or get up and run. But once you get something on their wrists and you take away that little bit of freedom, it almost defeats them. Active shooter, anything, the moment that I get somebody at gunpoint, everybody knows how to work what? A zip tie. I can have a bystander, hey, get that big zip tie out of my fanny pack and put them in his hands. These can kill me. I have to take that ability away. These are huge, man. They fit right in your pocket. I got 75 of them for $13 on Amazon.
This for the wife and the flex cuffs for you, right?
That's it, man. I think a part of me is I just love him, and I hate that my niece doesn't get to experience a grandfather. I hate that my son doesn't get to experience that, and to be honest with you, man, I really just miss having a dad. It's truly what it goes down to. It's just missing, and I've spent my whole adult career fighting evil and fighting drugs. Only to lose him to drugs. We hadn't turned off Highway 1, but maybe more than a half a mile. And I'm the gunner. We're driving this massive bright light. And then it was like slow motion of seeing the dirt. And I felt this heat, pressure, push me back. And my back plate broke in half. And then I came forward and smashed the whole left side of my face on the buttstock of the 240. And I woke up, they said about 10 minutes later, on a gurney. I'm hearing people scream. I'm hearing people talk about the QRF that's coming for us, just got ran over an IED. They're seizing all operations. I hear Apaches. I hear something about ambushes. They got me on the Bird. I wake up at the little medical spot on Fob Warrior. I remember the conversation. They're like, hey, we need you to call your wife. I'm like, okay. The 82nd and the family readiness group called my wife that night, told my wife that there was an accident and I was deceased.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Next to my mom.
Snake Staff Systems. Have you ever heard of them?
Man, I'm so glad you pulled that out because the boys in Alaska that we were training 2 weeks ago, they had these. And I thought it was the most interesting thing that I've ever seen.
There's a whole bunch of positives to this tourniquet. Sorry, I just broke the chem light here. But that cat tourniquet that you have, it's not going to work on pets or small children. And I know you're a father. Look how small that gets, you know?
Yeah, I have a service dog too. Her name's Bonnie. She goes with me everywhere, man.
Really?
Yeah. So to be able to know that is for canines too.
They made this to solve that problem, and I was like, man, I've never thought of that. You know, like those cats don't fit on children. I got one for you and one for Kyle.
That's awesome, man. Thank you. Yeah, we were just looking at these. We were just talking about this. My favorite thing about this rifle, one, it doesn't feel like a toy. It's got all the hardware that a real gun is going to have. But I can put everything on this gun, all the goodies, that is exactly on the gun that I would use in a real life scenario. So all my touch points, the weight, the optic, the flashlight, where everything is mounted, everything is the exact same. So I can get those reps in my home with this, but know that at 2 a.m. when I wake up out of sleep and grab my real rifle, all the touch points are the same. I keep the same pressure pads, same flashlight, same grip, same buttstock. Everything is the exact same. So again, when I need it the most, I'm able to operate it without fumbling around. Where's my light switch? You know, I can do everything with this, but I can get shots on targets in my house.
So dry fire becomes a real thing.
What is the number one mistake you see newbies making?
Oh man, I think the biggest mistake is people trying to find the latest thing that's on the market that they see on social media and they don't train with it. They don't know how to use it. Somebody could see that, okay, cool, we got combat gauze. I'm going to go on American Rescue and I'm going to order combat gauze, but do you know how to apply it? If you get anything, whatever tool that you get, you need to become proficient with it, learn about it. In those environments, when you have to use that, your heart rate's going to be elevated, your breathing's going to be heavy, you're going to be scared. You're going to be in a very critical incident. It's not just going to be like, oh, cool, I know how to use it. You have to train with it because if you don't, you're going to pull it out. You might not even remember it's there because you don't practice with it. You're going to pull it out. It's going to be a foreign object to you. Nobody spends the money on the training. They just like the cool factor. Well, guess what, brother? When you're laying on the ground and you're bleeding out, the cool factor is gone. You have to know how to use it. And I think that's the biggest problem. So I have to get 3 validation points to validate you on a sheet that gets submitted in to state that you're a gang member. But if you tell me you're a Blood or a Crip, I just need one other validation point. A validation point is you see a lot of Blood members wear Chicago Bulls because Bull stands for Bloods usually live longer and stronger. You see a lot of 8-tray Crips, 83 Crips, they wear the Texas Ranger hats. The hats are blue and there's a T on it. T stands for Trey. You ever seen the tattoos that say MOB and they're like, money over bitches? Member of Blood. You see a lot of tattoos that are RR, that stands for real right. That means you've done something for the gang. You know, the 5-pointed stars, 6-pointed stars. You ever see anybody with a Star of David on them? They're a gangster disciple. Bloods operate on the right side, so if they're flying a flag, which is a bandana, everything should be on the right side. If they're a Crip, everything's on the left side. Now, a lot of the younger kids will, instead of carrying flags, they wear like red shoes or blue shoes. Vans is highly popular.
Are these the 2 biggest gangs in the country?
Bloods and Crips, yeah. Lil Wayne, there's a music video with him and Bruno Mars. This mirror on the wall, whatever that mirrors or whatever. If you actually watch the music video, Lil Wayne pays tons of respect to the Bloods. He shows all of his blood tattoos, MOB, RR, 5-pointed stars. There's another set of Bloods called Sex, Money, Murder. They are a blood set, but they were founded by a guy in like the 60s, Pistol Pete. They don't do this. This is blood, right? They hold this up. This is blood. You'll never see Crips operate on the right side. Crips will always operate over here. They're a blood set, but they'll throw up 2 pistols to pay respect to Pistol Pete. And they operate off the color green because Pete loved money. Have you ever known Chicago Bulls to ever wear green?
No.
No. So why do they sell green jerseys and green hats?
No shit.
It's because they sell to the gang and make a ton of money off of it.
No shit.
Bloods will never eat it at Burger King because BK stands for blood killer. It's a whole bunch of rules. I used to listen to the music, all the rap music, just listening to terminology, how they talk, how they operate. Like Bloods, they'll make a sound. You hear a lot in like Lil Wayne's music videos. Soo-woo, soo-woo. If they're in a large crowd full of other Blood gang members, that's signaling to them that 12 is around because it sounds like police sirens. Soo-woo. And a lot of chicks really got into the gangs because of Cardi B. Cardi B's a Blood. She used to have blood dreads, and she had the whole 9 yards. She was a straight gangster. She had a whole music video where there's like, she's the OG, back before she got super famous. So my first call ever, day 1, I get with my FTO, missing kid. It's a great one to learn from, right off the gate. We get there, and the mother she's really like distressed. She's like, I can't find my son. I don't know where he's at. I've searched the whole house. I just haven't looked in the basement. They're like, well, has he ever had any behavior of running away? No, he just doesn't like going to school. Like, all right, well, man, we'll search the house again. Search the whole house, nothing. Opened up the basement door, started walking down the steps. I see two little bare feet, maybe about a foot and a half off the ground. I get all the way down to the basement. My FTO is behind me. He took an extension cord, tied it to a water pipe, and hung himself. I'm day one, man, first call. My FTO was such a coward. He said, hey, you need to go up and tell that mother that her son is deceased, and we found him. Why don't you go do that? I'm in training. This is my first day. I'm not even supposed to do nothing. I'm just watching you. All right, roger that. So I go up there. She's standing in the kitchen. She's leaned up against the counter, and I'm like, hey, ma'am, I'm sorry to tell you, but your son is in the basement, and he's no longer alive. She let out a scream, Shawn, that I still hear every night. Mental patient. I'll convince him to go to the hospital. I'm going to hit Chipotle after this. This is easy. I like these calls. As I'm coming around the corner, I hear dispatch. She's like, now he's in the garage with a knife. Man, I hit the corner, dude. This dude's standing there butt naked. This big, massive butcher knife. He's like, come in the dungeon, motherfucker. And finally, my backup comes. Now we're both lethal, right? Because we don't know what he's about to do. We're out there 45 minutes, me and him. Finally get him to put the knife down in the middle of the garage. And he runs over and he crouches down behind like a city trash can on wheels. I mean, he's like back and forth using the trash can as like a barricade. What he had taped on the back of the trash can a little 10-inch blow dart gun. And he was putting darts in it as he was talking to us. And when Regat yelled at him and I saw him do that, I holstered, pulled my taser out, upside down, shot it. One went in his head, the other one went in the wall, done. Later, we found out that he had dirty blood and he was stabbing himself with the needles and was trying to shoot people with them to give him his dirty blood. All the tier 1 guys, they go do the most dangerous jobs in the world. But the difference, they get to get on an airplane and come back to the United States of America. Police officers are deployed 365 days a year, 7 days a week in a city that they have to work in. You want to talk about paranoia? I can't even go to Best Buy with my son without being bumped into somebody that I arrested for a drug charge. And I don't know if he's going to kill me right here, right now. That's paranoia. 185 law enforcement officers killed themselves in 2023. 136 died in the line of duty. Why are we having more officers dying by self-inflicted gunshot wounds than they are fighting crime? It's because the leadership is pushing us to the point where we would rather kill ourselves than have to see your fucking face in the morning. That's the problem, and it needs to be addressed nationwide. Bad leaders need to be held accountable. They need to be fired. There are some good-ass cops out there, man, still doing the right thing. When the time comes and there's a little hiccup in what they're doing, they're thrown to the wolves, and their families have to suffer because it comes out of a paycheck. That's bullshit.